So hey everybody, it's David in France, but we're not in France today. We're actually where I grew up in Frederick County, Maryland. And we're at the Hattery Farm, checking out an innovative solution for growing chickens and raising chickens in a small scale. So let's get started. But before we start, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos where I make videos about nature, about food, and about just the adventures of everyday life in France and back here in the United States.
So, this is a chicken tractor, which is kind of a ridiculous name, but it's what these things are called. And they're designed to enclose animals, particularly chickens or turkeys, and move them instead of just removing the manure, changing the bedding, and so on. So there's a real advantage to be able to move them, particularly across grass where they have fresh grass, maybe even a side benefit of eating the grubs in the ground. So I designed this and built it, and as you'll see here, the wheels are what make it easy to move from place to place, but I put them on a pivot point here so that when I raise the handle here, the wheel lifts the back end and then I just lift the front end. The reason I do that is so it can have a minimum distance from the ground when I move it. The reason I do that is you see large chickens in there now, but they didn't start out as large chickens, and when they're very small they can get underneath when I move this if it's not very close to the ground. So I like to have the entire apparatus very close to the ground as I move it.
So the way you have that designed, when you pick it up, the whole thing comes off the ground?
That's right. The pivot point on the back, when I pick it up, raises the rear, and then I just raise the front with the going into the metal brackets.
Did you use a design that you found or anything, or did you just make the whole thing up?
Just made it up. And it was a learning process. So I found that as the sun changed position, I really needed a lot of cover in order to keep them from being in direct sunlight. So that's why there's a tarp over the whole thing. And then actually, another learning lesson was I didn't have holes in here at first. And one day it rained and filled this whole thing with water so heavy that it actually broke the wooden components of it. So I had to fix the wooden components, put a new tarp on, and just put a bunch of holes in it. So now when it rains, it drains itself.
And how do you get in there to change the water and the food?
Well, I have doors on the back, but the water can be refilled simply by taking a hose and filling the bucket. And the bucket has what are called poultry nipples, which are little metal things that when they touch it with their beak, a drop of water comes out. So that's a great device to keep clean water all the time. You don't have to clean water troughs of other types of waterers. And it's nice for this apparatus because if this is on a hill, you can't have it on a shelf because a normal waterer would just drain of water if you had it on an angle. So this hangs from the top, as does the feeder. For the feeder I have to open this back door here and take the feeder out and fill it and then replace it.
So you got 7 chickens in there now?
That's right.
How many can you put in here, do you think?
Well, I've had as many as 15, but that's pretty crowded. But yes, you can do that many. But you have to move it a lot, obviously.
And the last thing, how much do you think this whole thing cost you to make?
Actually, it's funny. Probably the most expensive thing were these little metal strips that are used. But this way, by using these, I wanted to keep the thing light. And to make these braces out of wood would have taken a lot more wood, which have added a lot more weight. And they're pretty expensive, but I don't know, I probably have $50 to $100 into it.
So there you go.